So let's go to the number 2 team, which is going to be the number 2 team that was last year, which was the Washington Commanders.
Washington Commanders, yes.
Man, look, they got Laramie Tunsil, they got Deebo Samuel, they re-signed Bobby Wagner, re-signed Zach Ertz, who's still playing at a high level in my opinion. Will Harris comes over as a safety. Javon Kinlaw's there now. Michael Gallup comes out of retirement and is now with them. Nate Herbig signs with them. And Dietrich Wise at defensive end signs a 1-year deal as well. They get a couple other weapons to come in there. Cleveland Farrell, and a couple other guys. It says Dante Fowler Jr. on here, which is weird. So, but anyways, let's get over right into their draft, man. Josh Connerly, excellent pickup.
Yes.
Where are they going to fit him? Doesn't matter. He was obviously BPA for them. Laramie Tunsil's probably going to play to the left. Josh Connerly's probably going to play to the right. Stop looking at that clip of Mike Green blowing him up. He's a good tackle, and he's played on the right side of the field at some points as well. Trey Amos, if you want to defend guys like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Terry McLaurin on your own team in practice, just so many different people, you want a Trey Amos on the other side of that defense helping out with that, right? They didn't have a lot of draft picks, man. Like Jalen Lane and what's his name of Virginia Tech were like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel from Iowa State. They were a really good duo there at Virginia Tech, and Jalen Lane's probably going to come in and be a special teamer for him. Kane Madrano, I caught wind to his game a little late, but speedy little linebacker out of UCLA. Him and Carson Schlesinger were really, really good. Ja'Cory Croskett-Moret was the only thing that was good about Arizona's offense outside of Ted McMillan. Let's be completely honest here. And so they bring him in to be a depth piece. Again, when you see Frankie Luvu's name, you see Terry McLaurin's name, you see Bobby Wagner, you see Austin Eckler, who can probably still be a bright spot for them. You see Brian Robinson still out there. And the names just keep going on and on and on through both sides of that team. I don't think that they're going to take a step back whatsoever. I think that, Dan Quinn's defense is still going to be good. The things that he's chosen to do as a coach for them, he's going to actually continue to have them step on their defensive side of the ball. And I think Cliff Kingsbury's second year with Jaden Daniels is going to be more creative than his first year. Not only for the fact that, hey, I'm on a new team. I'm not a head coach. I was a quarterbacks coach at USC. And, what I'm saying? Like, he's going to be able to open up the playbook a little more, knowing exactly what he has out there with Jaden. Really strong quarterback room, bringing Marcus Mariota back. Sam Hartman is still there. They just, acquire talent, build the talent up. And I know we talked about Zach Ertz having a breakout year, but I think what you're going to see this year is a transitional period of Zach being more of not a role player like he was last year. He'll be an integral part, and everybody knows how great of a teammate and great of a guy Zach Ertz is, right? But now we're going to see the Ben Sinnott show start showing up a little bit more in his second year, and I'm super excited to see that because all of us are really, really high on them. But 10-7 after, last year they were 12-5.
12-5 and went to the NFC Championship game.
Went to the NFC Championship. It's not an indictment of them being a bad team.
No.
It's not. It's just that they are an excellent team that everybody in the league got better, and that's where the 2 losses come from, to be completely honest. They're still going to be good. This is probably a better team than last year, to be honest.
Then right. I just realized I don't think I've barely said anything about it. I was just like, whoops. Obviously, as we talked about, they went all the way to the NFC Championship game, year 2. It's very much what is Jaden Daniels going to look like with what CJ Stroud did his second year? I think there will be somewhat of a drop. I don't think it'll be as major of a drop. But we look at the contract situation with Terry McLaurin right now that's going on. I think Terry McLaurin's going to stay a Commander, but that right now is weighing, so that might take some time. It might affect play. I'm not a fan of the Deebo Samuel signing at all. I feel like he's ran out of he's slowly running out of juice in the league. Noah Brown, I think, is a good pick if he's healthy. Same with Michael Gallup. I think he's a good pickup. Are we going to see any of Luke McCaffrey this year? So that's kind of I feel like there's a lot more question marks in the wide receiver room than people really care to admit. Zach Ertz, we talked about, great leader. Hopefully you see a bit more of Ben Sinnott. Adding Josh Carnley and Laramie Tunsil to boost off your tackles, especially after seeing how in the NFC Championship game, the tackles were getting manhandled. They were getting worked, especially in the other or previous matchups as well between the Eagles, even Dallas with Micah Parsons on there. I know people were very excited about the Marshawn Lattimore. Now we're going to see the full year. Right off the bat, to me, I could see Lattimore not staying very long, especially with the addition of Trey Amos. And I think Mike Sainristil is going to work his way up to that number one cornerback.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, bro, because I was going to.
I think Mike
Sainristil
might be that number one. Like, if maybe not on the depth chart, but I think the way that he's going to play, I think he's going to be the number one cornerback, like solidified by the end of the year for the Commanders.
So what's interesting about the Commanders is they were ranked 17th in passing yards per game and 9th in passing touchdowns. I think that either stays the same or gets better this year with Jayden
the addition
Daniels.
of Trey Amos. Yeah.
They're ranked 6th in the league in red zone touchdown percentage. And you get Jacory Krosky-Marek to come there. And again, another year under this system. It's going to be amazing. Total yards allowed on their defense, they're ranked 13th. Points allowed, they're ranked 18th. I think that improves. Rushing defense was 29th in rushing yards allowed per game. Something that they obviously have to improve on. But on the other side of that, I think that, Frankie Louvu being there and Bobby Wagner's second year together, you'll see that start to improve too. They recorded 52 sacks for a loss of 348 yards.
Yeah.
Crazy work, bro. Crazy work. Jerzon Newton, I hope, steps up to the plate and obviously is going to be a better part of what they do. As far as their upfront statistics, I think he helps increase that. We were very high on Jerzon Newton, and he waited their turn, and we kind of scratched our head when he got drafted. But I think that helps out. And then, of course, then bolstering that offensive line, man, for Jayden is such a breath of fresh air that they're investing so much into thinking about the talent that he can be and letting Jayden develop everybody else that wants to be a part of this team. But what we're seeing with Tua is like when he doesn't have time to throw, he looks terrible. But when he does have time to throw, he looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think what they're trying to say is like, we're already one of the best when he's rolling out. Let's be one of the best when he's under center as well. And so, again, I think about Cliff Kingsbury and the way that he's going to be able to be dynamic with that team is going to be interesting. So that is the Washington Commanders.